It's time for some answers. What is that editor? Which IDE do you use? It's your lucky day. I have made an entire video answering that question. In short, sometimes it is that editor, sometimes it is Joe running in that terminal, and almost never it is something else. What is that font? In my programming videos I resize the window and the font constantly. Multiple different fonts are used. Should I list all of them? In the videos that I recorded in DOSBox, most of the time the font is one of the built-in VGA fonts that are present in the ROM of nearly every VGA graphics card built in the last 40 years. In some videos I used Xterm. There the font is one of the MISC fixed fonts, usually either the 6x10 font or the 9x15 font. If I use that terminal, fonts from both of these sets are used. In my LibreOffice presentations I have usually used either Inconsolata, Anka-Coder or Deja Vu Sans Mono for code snippets, and either Liberation Sans or Deja Vu Sans for the majority of other text. What is that color scheme? Alabaster. No, seriously, how do you expect me to answer that? What kind of picture do you have in your mind about the answer? I wrote my own state machine for the syntax highlighter. It colors different things in different colors. Should I list every rule and every pattern and every color separately? How would you even interpret that? How would that even benefit you? Which speech synthesizer do you use? Obviously that is not an honest question, but I answered it anyway in this video. Are you married? No, at the moment when I am making this video I am 42 and single. For most of my life I have been too insecure about myself and completely oblivious in general to form any sort of relationship. Add to that the highly individualistic Finnish culture in which respecting personal boundaries is a virtue and talking to strangers is a thing that you just don't do. Essentially at this age, the chances of any sort of relationship ever happening that wouldn't be totally lopsided in terms of experience or dissonant in terms of worldview and values are looking pretty much zero. What is the origin of your nickname Bisqwit? Back in 1990s, when I was a total newbie to everything computers, there were not many computer systems that required you to log in with a username and a password, so most people simply would not have an online alias. However, every programmer, especially people aspiring to be associated with a demo scene, had to have a nickname. That's just how the scene was back then. I had one nickname, which I chose in 1992 or 1993 when I began programming, but a friend of mine pointed out to me that it might be a bit too pretentious. So in 1994 or so, I chose a new nickname for myself. I had absolutely no ideas, but since I was quite an inventive person back then, my friend suggested something along the lines of the Finnish word keksiä, which means to invent. The Finnish word keksi then means biscuit or a cookie, so I chose myself that name. However, because I still wanted that name to be cool somehow, I stylized it like this. Later I dropped the acute accent because of various problems that non-ASCII characters introduce in computer systems. And that name, introduced by a 16 years old me, is what I still use online today.